Hey everybody, we're two of the participants of this. We lost terribly, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I got knocked out real quick.
Well, today's actually your first time competitive battling in Pokemon. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
And how'd you enjoy it?
I liked it a lot. It was a lot of fun. The only thing is, I'm not too familiar with my team. I'm not too familiar with the game itself, so I just play through and that's it.
Yeah, a lot of people come to competitive Pokemon assuming it's going to be just like their regular playthrough of the game, where you could just plow through everybody, but it's really not true. There are a lot of really, really good players these days, especially with the new generation. It opened up a lot of options for a lot of new players to jump into the game and have a lot of fun, and which hopefully you saw tonight. And
I did.
All right, awesome. So we're about to hop into our losers semifinal, our first losers semifinal against Sam and t1lt. We'll see what happens. Sam has an awesome team. I haven't had a good look at t1lt's team. Again, being a noob, I don't. I'll guide you through it as much as possible. It does seem to be Trick Room oriented. Do you know what Trick Room is?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. So. Did it annihilate you last game?
He actually didn't use Trick Room on me.
He
was using a strategy which revolves around making his Snorlax the primary carry of the team.
Yeah. He uses Ribombee and Speed Swap.
Yes, to swap the speed of Ribombee and Snorlax.
Yeah,
and that's one Chungus that's coming after you.
That's a big Chungus. Now, let me tell you, there's definitely that's the best part about VGC is you can build your team in such a way where you can have one route and then a completely different route that works just as well as the first one that you built the team around originally. That's what I'd like to think that I did with my team.
My team was very much like that. I definitely could have went multiple routes, but I should have went on just one, and I felt like that led to my demise.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to switch it up. If you gotta. The best part of Pokemon is trying to work out those mind games against your opponent. Try and make them think that you're doing something completely different than what you're actually doing. Mm-hmm. It's definitely difficult because again, there's a lot of veteran players who've been playing this just as long as anybody else, and they'll know your trick. So it's just there are some times where it's just as beneficial to try to trick your opponent as it is to just go for the obvious play. Almost
like chess.
Yeah, similar to chess. I mean, if there's a very obvious move, sometimes it's beneficial just to go for it because odds are they have a plan of their own. They're just assuming you're going to do one thing. All right, we're getting into the game here. Again, a mirror match of Ribombee here. Now, again, when Sam first came in, he told me, man, nobody's going to expect the Ribombee. And I'm looking at
Ribombee right now.
Yeah, and his first match was against t1lt and the Ribombee mirror match, and you saw his face drop. It was. I don't want to be mean, but it was hilarious, and I'm glad.
It's kind of like that Spider-Man meme where they both look at each other. Like,
yeah, and they're both pointing at each other. Oh my God. All right, so we're standing by for the first losers semifinal. Some really cool Pokemon. t1lt bringing the Barbaracle here. I remember in Generation 6 running a Barbaracle on my battle. I guess at that time it was the Battle Mansion team, and it would just ruin house. Now I'm not sure if this one has the move that I ran called Shell Smash, which increased speed, attack, and I believe special attack in exchange for its defenses.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen that on this particular Pokemon, but it's worked out for him so far. The match that I saw him use it in, it wrecked house. All he has to do is that max knuckle, and it just murders people.
You take note here, Sam's shoes in the game are very colorful as well.
That's true. He does have some pretty colorful shoes in real life. All right, we're getting into it. Sam leads with in DD and the Galarian Darmanitan and the Ribombee Barbaracle lead for t1lt. Again, this is almost identical to the lead we saw him t1lt come out with in, I guess it was their first match of the night. They actually played each other earlier in the night. The way things worked out is a little strange, but this is our first time seeing that Darmanitan lead and that Holucha. Man, it's one of the funkiest looking shinies out there.
It's definitely something to look at.
It's a sight to behold. Now that's a great move, the ally swap. Unfortunately, it it does not make him immune to the. Ooh, that was a great KO. It doesn't make him immune to the area of effect damage, but you know what? He gave it a shot.
He did.
All right, let's see what happens now. See now he has two things that are completely immune to the earthquake here. Assuming that Darmanitan is choice banded, that means he's forced to switch out, unless he has another plan in mind. I'm not quite sure how this Darmanitan is working out for him, or how he has set it up. I suppose we'll just have to see. Now, are there any particular Pokemon you were surprised to see in your first time around here?
I passed by one guy and I saw the horse.
I don't
know what the horse's name is, but I know it's a horse.
Mudsdale.
Yes, Mudsdale. It was pretty impressive.
Oh my, yeah. Well,
I saw Sam actually lost to that, and he was very shocked when he went to go solar beam it. And it took no damage.
I'll tell you what. The Mudsdale. I'll tell you, it is one of the bulkiest Pokemon in VGC right now. Maybe second only to Rhyperior.
Which I did see today and was a pain.
I lost to that Pokemon just this last round. All right, we are seeing, I believe that is Dynamax, that is not Gigantamax, Corviknight, coming out here on Tilt's side of the field. Not quite sure what his plan is. And the Acrobatics will take out Rabombi, removing one more threat off the field.
I do think his plan, Nick, is to try to win the game.
Oh, that's a good idea. You know what? I didn't think of that.
No one expects it.
That Snorlax took that like a champ. We are going to see the defense rise from Corviknight. That is going to help against these two. These two physical attacking Pokemon. That's one more thing to take into account for Sam here. All right, and Intimidate from Arcanine. The Sam's side of the field is definitely going to have a hard time right now.
The suspense is killing me, honestly.
For those of you watching at home, we actually can only hear each other, so it's quite the silence when neither of us is talking. All right, the Will-O-Wisp going on to Snorlax. We're assuming that Snorlax is going to Gigantamax. We saw the Gigantamax Snorlax earlier in the night, and that is definitely a beneficial move on Sam's part. Ooh, and a KO. That is a critical KO on the Hawlucha. That might have just sealed the game up for Tilt here.
During my run-through of Pokemon Sword, I named my Corviknight Sir Birdie because he looked like a knight.
Well, I think that's what Game Freak was going for as Corviknight. I believe that's what they were looking for in the aesthetics of that Pokemon. All right, we're going to see the Berry Pop for Snorlax. I'm not sure it's going to be quite enough. He has two quite formidable foes in front of him here. And the Indeedee comes out on Sam's side. This might give him enough time to hopefully take out something. I suppose we'll have to see. Let's see here. All right, we are going to see the Gigantamax. I believe this is Snorlax. We're going to have to hold it. There we go.
That's a big dude.
I'll tell you what. Game Freak really nailed it with the Gigantamax versions in this game.
I do like them. They are very different.
Yeah. They're fantastic. I run the Gigantamax Charizard on my team. I love the way that they fill the battlefield. They have such a presence about them. It's something that Mega Evolution and Z moves just they didn't have quite the gusto that these have.
It's a good word.
Oh,
gusto.
thank you. Yeah, I've been working on my SAT words. All right, we are going to see the speed increase on Tilt's side here. The berry popping to heal up Indeedee. And hopefully Replenish is going to get that berry back for both Snorlax and Indeedee.
This move surprised
and
me
that
the most,
is
probably.
that is a critical knockout here for Sam. All right, we are going to see the burn take effect here. Let's see what else we got here. Ooh,
This might be good in Sam's favor.
Oh, 100%. As soon as the Dynamax ends,
okay.
I know
looks
I
like
breathe.
Tilt's given up.
Oh yeah, that's all right.
Oh.
He had a great thing going for a while there, but I'll tell you what, that Snorlax is no slouch.
Absolutely not.
And he's running a very interesting move set on it. I don't want to give it away now, without the what's the word, the blessing of Sam himself here, but that was Tilt won.
No, Sam.
Oh,
won.
Sam won. I lied. Sam won. Clearly, I was paying attention, folks at home. Don't judge me. All right, now I'm gonna push this. Tonight was your first time ever doing a true competitive event in Pokemon. How does it relate to? I know you're a big fan of Magic the Gathering and other competitive games. How does this relate to those games in terms of the mental capacity it takes to really make those decisions in game?
It's definitely a changer because in most competitive games you have a certain way to go about it. Lots of training helps, just repetitions. But in this game, I feel like there's a lot of different avenues that you could take with different teams. With the one that I had tonight was definitely something that I wasn't ready for because there's a lot of swapping that I should have been doing, but I couldn't because I didn't know about it.
Yeah, it is your first time. A lot of things to be learned, and again, the only way to learn those things is probably going to be from experience, from playing. Yeah, again, repetition. So, what I think most of the viewing audience and myself would recommend is getting online or getting onto the battle tower and just practicing with your team. I recommend for all of you guys at home to do the same. Just practice with your team, see what works, see what doesn't, what you're weak against, and just build up your defenses as well as your offenses.
Definitely don't do what I did and get a team at the last minute and don't do any practice.
Yeah, well, I did try to tell you, didn't I? I tried to tell you to practice, but you know what? Sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. All right, I believe we're trying to set up for the next match, or the next game in this match here, Sam versus Tilt. We'll see if they lead the same.
I would like to see an interesting match, not just a single-sided 2L.
Yeah, but the way that the Pokédex is laid out here in this generation, it allows for a lot of interesting combinations in VGC. There's definitely a lot of options. I know your team in particular has a great deal of leading options. You run the Follow Me Togekiss.
Yes.
And that leads to so many options. You could do almost whatever you want paired up with that thing. It is such a fantastic Pokemon.
I named my Togekiss Goose because he's intended to die.
I don't understand that reference. Is that a reference to something?
It's a Top Gun reference.
Oh, I'm an uncultured swine. What can I say? Oh, okay. All right, see? I'm not alone here in the studio. All right, we're getting the battle going here. Hopefully we see some interesting leads, not just the same old, but you know what? Sometimes the familiar works. And
I think this time I'm going to go with a guess real quick that Sam will leave with Indeedee and Darmanitar.
Dumanitar? It's Darmanitar.
I know what I said.
It's also Darmanitan. We both had collective failure there. All right.
That's my prediction, though. That's what I think he's going to do.
All right. I believe I completely missed the choices here, unless they did not choose.
I don't think they did. I think they're looking at each other's team very carefully.
Okay.
Maybe they make the choice.
You know what? I definitely want to see that Grimmsnarl come out. I'm hoping for a Grimmsnarl lead, but that Ribombee...
You were telling me before, Grimmsnarl is probably one of your favorite Pokemon in the new
generation.
It
is so cool. Except, as soon as I saw it, it was a reaction of...
Oh, that's Indeedee?
Yep. Oh, well, all right.
1 out of 2.
That's okay. I won't hold it to him too bad.
He
But
did
you know
pick
what?
it.
As I said before, whatever works, works, and you gotta stick with it. All right, here we are starting the second game of this semifinal match.
Trainer card choice for Sam is a little interesting.
It's a little zoomed in. It's a little too much for me. Can't quite.
Sometimes it's the little thing, folks, that really make a difference.
It's the the totally zoomed in trainer card. All right, here we go. We see the Barbarical Ribombi lead once again. This is a very familiar sight to us, indeed. I believe. Did Sam lead the same way this time as he did last time?
He did.
Oh no,
not.
he led with Darmanitan last time. That's correct. All right, here we go. Oop, he's setting up the belly drum. This is something we didn't see last game. The belly drum.
The belly drum really took me by surprise because I wasn't expecting it.
It absolutely nukes people. That attack boost, if you can get it off. And the implementation of a lot of Follow Me Pokemon in this generation is something I don't think we've seen in the competitive scene for a couple generations now. I believe Follow Me has come into its own this generation with the success of all of the setup moves. Belly Drum, Dragon Dance, No Retreat on Phalanx, my new favorite Pokemon.
From what I'm told by a couple people, this generation is very flexible with the amount of Pokemon you can use and what's actually good and what's not.
I feel like that has to do somewhat with the... it's going to be a controversial topic, and it has been since it's been announced.
Are you talking about the Pokedex?
Yeah, the reduced Pokedex definitely lends to some rather unconventional choices here.
But that's good. Sometimes you need to switch it up. You
Oh,
don't want
I
to see the same thing over
You know
and
what?
over again.
I was part of the bandwagon that hated the removal of all the Pokemon up until I started seeing the competitive scene and the way it was thriving and the way people were setting up teams. You saw a lot of Pokemon that you would never normally see on a competitive team, especially in VGC. This Barbarical, for instance, it would... If there were things like Garchomp and Metagross and...
You wouldn't see a Barbarical.
You definitely wouldn't see a Barbarical, especially not Dynamaxing in turn 1 of the game. All right, here we go. Speaking of Dynamaxing, we got a Gigantamax Snorlax on the field once again, our old friend.
I really like the Dynamax Snorlax. It really...
Yeah, it's quite the comical... it's in quite the comical... artistic choices to make its belly an entire island.
They really went for it.
Oh, well, you know what? If you're going to go for it, you gotta, you know. Here we go. We're seeing the Max Knuckle. This is a familiar move. We saw this last game, or not last game, but one of Tilt's previous matches. This Barbarical wrecked house with that Max Knuckle. Didn't have the chance to do it last game as it got knocked out first turn, I believe. And once we'll actually see that again. I hope I didn't jinx that. All right, the grassy terrain coming out here. All right. Sam is in a powerful position here. That is definitely...
You don't want to see your first choice get knocked down.
No,
like
definitely
not.
not. I'm sure Tilt did not plan on figuring out a new plan of attack here. Mm-hmm. But you know what? He had to do it last game too, and he did pretty well for himself. So we'll see what he does here. We see the Arcanine come out. That is a crucial Intimidate. I'm not sure one step down for that Snorlax is going to be much of a difference here.
He did use Belly Drum on the Snorlax, correct? So it did boost his
it boosted it to 4 stages up. Yep. So it's now plus 6, I believe.
Yeah.
So here we go. See the Follow Me once again. The Intimidate only knocks it down 1 stage, though, so it definitely still has a huge attack stat. We see the Pollen Puff come out, knocking out the Indeedee. And we'll see what this Snorlax does here.
I've seen quite a couple of the Indeedees tonight.
Yeah, well, Indeedee is definitely a good choice. It's got a lot of support options. All right, we're seeing the max replenish here. We'll see how powerful it is, and it is not enough to take out the Arcanine. With that Intimidate and the burn, it was just enough to survive a replenish here. All right, we're seeing everything heal up and take its damages here at the end of the turn. I definitely think Tilt has a good chance here.
I believe Sam has 1 turn of Dynamax left.
I believe so. I believe so. Yeah, he.
Here comes the Ribombi from Sam now.
He max overgrowthed the Barbarical last turn, and then that was a replenish.
So he has one more.
He has one more turn. Let's see if he can pull out some miracles here.
So there's the speed swap. So that when he comes out of the Dynamax, I believe Snorlax will be the fastest thing on the field.
Indeed, the speed rules in this game are rather interesting. Assuming he doesn't lose the speed tie to the other Ribombee. I believe that happened in one of his previous games. He got a speed tie. The speed swap just didn't do it for him. But we will see here what each player decides to do.
I'm kind of hoping that it goes to a game 3, just because.
There's never enough Pokemon.
No,
you can always hope. You can always hope for more Pokemon. You know what? We have another pretty interesting semifinal match coming up, and then.
Which you yourself are going to be part of, correct?
Oh, am I?
I think so.
I don't quite remember. I believe you're correct. I believe.
And this is your first time playing at this store tonight. Not your first time playing competitively, but just at the store.
That is correct. Yeah, this is my first time here. A very gracious and welcoming host. I'm very happy to be here, and they allowed me to commentate over this match, and I can't thank them enough. It's truly a.
It's fun to see it from this side than to see it just from watching over his shoulder.
Oh, definitely. Oh, I mean, when the screen's right in front of you, and you're just watching players who have so much experience and such a good grasp on the game, making these choices and trying to pick their brains about it. It's a seat that just can't be compared to backseat gaming. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
All right, so back to the game here. We're going to see the Gigantamax end here. That's not a good thing. It did survive. It did survive one turn, though. I'm surprised it lasted this long. Oh well, luckily for Snorlax, he's coming out with the Facade now. Facade is a move that gets a boosted attack based if it's poisoned,
burned, or paralyzed.
Or paralyzed. Correct. Perfect. You know what you're doing.
I read the tooltip.
Oh, there you go. Well, you have, I believe you have Facade. No. Your Facade is on your Crawdon.
Snips, I call him.
He's called Snips. I assume that's a pincer thing because he has pincers. Or is that
very
from
observant
something?
of you.
Oh, I know. I'm a genius. I'm an observant lord. What can I say? All right, we're gonna see the ally swap. And the Arcanine goes down. That
critical hit, too.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure that critical hit mattered. You saw how much damage it did before when it used Replenish. Definitely.
Which I was a little surprised that the Replenish didn't kill the Arcanine. Because he was getting...
Yeah, well, that's burn. Burn decreases your attack stat. Oh. So if you're burned, it's going to take
intimidated and burned.
Yeah, in the same turn even. So it definitely took the punch out of that Replenish. And I'm sure that changed the game for Sam a little bit.
Does Sam have one more Pokemon left after this?
That is a good question.
I believe he has.
I believe he still has one in the back.
I think he has that Darmanitan.
Did he Darmanitan? Yeah. Did he bring that?
I think so.
I clearly wasn't paying enough attention to the picks here.
It's a little thing.
Should have written it down. Very unprofessional of me. Now we did see the Corviknight come out. Here's Darkest Lariat, the signature move of what was his name? The tiger from last generation. Incineroar. There we go. Incinikitty. Yep, that was his signature move last generation. Luckily, it was created as a technical record here, so you can give it to other Pokemon. Definitely a cool choice.
Yeah, I didn't really play the last generation, so when he used it against me, I was very confused. It was destroying my team, but
Darkest Lariat,
yeah, I was very confused.
That's something. I'll tell you what. If you're not too familiar with the competitive scene, a lot of the moves can be rather jarring to you. There's quite the excess of moves you wouldn't normally see in regular play. Trick Room, for instance, like in regular play when you're playing just around the overworld. You
don't want to use Trick Room.
No, why would you want to make your Pokemon slower? That's a crazy idea.
But in competitive play, it's really good.
Oh, in competitive play, you can build a whole team around it. I mean, unless you're going through your playthrough of the game regularly,
which I don't think there were any Trick Room teams tonight.
I believe you are correct. I think I saw Trick Room in my last battle, actually.
That was against...
Huh?
That was against other
CO.
James.
Yeah, I played other James. Yep. His tag is CO in here. All right, we're seeing some chip damage taken out on the Corviknight here.
He's really taking a beating.
No, definitely. And we are not quite going to see it go, but the Rocky Helmet is going to take out the Snorlax. And the Roost coming in for Corviknight here. That is definitely not what Sam wants to see right now.
No, absolutely. Oh, it only gets it to about half.
Yeah, well, again, it's got some crazy defenses. Now, now this Darmanitan definitely has the answer for it, but is it fast enough? Will it be able to take out the Corviknight in time for the Corviknight to kill it? Because the Corviknight definitely has some super effective options here. All right, we're going to see the Moonblast. Not going to do a whole lot. The Corviknight is part Steel type. And then we are going to see the Flare Bits from Darmanitan, and Darmanitan takes out the Corviknight. That is a quite the interesting game. Again, I've known Sam for years, and that is definitely what I can expect from a player at his level.
Absolutely, Sam's a really good player. I really don't know much of the game in terms of competitiveness, so.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's the end of the first semifinal match. Thank you for joining me, James.
No problem.
Absolutely fantastic talking to you here. All right, so we're going to get going on our second semifinal match. We'll talk to you in a little while. Thank you.
Absolutely.